From Nigeria, the Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu.
I, Benjamin Okezie Kalu, hereby solemnly declare that I will perform my functions as a member of the Pan-African Parliament to the best of my ability and with honor and dignity in the service of the people of Africa. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the African Union and will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitutive Act of the African Union and the Protocol to the treaty establishing the African Economic Community relating to the Pan-African Parliament, by law established, and I will promote adherence to the principles of good governance, democracy, human rights, international humanitarian law, peace, stability, and all objectives of the Pan-African Parliament. So help me God. I so affirm. What a beautiful morning that we have today, especially when you consider the beautiful colors of Africa that is seen around this room, and also when you think about the beautiful tunes that came from those dancers, the young ones, who just danced beautifully a few moments ago. It is in that rhythm that you see the power of Africa, the unity and the harmony of the music that they played gives you the confidence that Africa can actually get it right. Let me start by thanking you, Mr. President of the Pan-African Parliament, His Excellency Chief Senator Fortune Charum Bira, the President of the Arab Parliament, His Excellency Adel bin Abdul Rahman Al-Soni, the Vice President of the Pan-African Parliament, the Vice President of the African Court on Human and People's Rights, Honorable Justice Modibo Sako, who joined us virtually, the Speaker of the National Assembly of South Africa that we are still expecting, Honorable Angela Toko Didiza, the Chairperson of the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, Honorable Remy Ngoy Lumbu, who also joined us virtually. The European Union Ambassador to the African Union, His Excellency Ambassador Javier Perez, who as well joined us virtually. The CEO of the Africa Peer Review Mechanism, Her Excellency Ambassador Maria Antoniette Rose Quatre, who just spoke a few moments ago. Honorable members of the Pan-African Parliament, the Dean of African Ambassadors in South Africa, His Excellency Nzapayeke, members of the Diplomatic Corps, the Clerk of the Pan-African Parliament, Ms. Lindiwe Kumalo, distinguished invited guests, members of the Secretariat, ladies and gentlemen of the press, invited guests. It is a privilege to appear before you as a special guest and also as a new member of this Parliament to present the goodwill message at the third ordinary section of the 6th Parliament of the Pan-African Parliament. I bring you special greetings and warm solidarity from my colleagues at the National Assembly of Nigeria, and more profoundly from my leaders, the Speaker of the House of Representatives and the President of the Senate of Nigeria. Your Excellency President Charumbira, I note that this is the first statutory section of the Pan-African Parliament since your re-election, following an extraordinary section convened in March 2024 on the guidance of the Executive Council of the African Union. Mr. President, I wish to congratulate you and your team of the Bureau for this significant and remarkable milestone in your tenure at this institution. Your re-election by an overwhelming majority of the Pan-African parliamentarian is a testament to your remarkable leadership and a reflection of the confidence in your ability to reposition this institution as a formidable organ in the African Union governance architecture. Once again, congratulations. Thank you. I am particularly fascinated by the theme of this section, which is anchored on the African Union theme for 2024, which has been identified as the year of education with a focus on educating an African that is fit for the 21st century. The underlying policy thrust is to build resilient education systems for increased access to inclusive access to lifelong, increased access to quality and relevant learning in Africa. I may not have been present and a member of this hallowed chamber when the theme was crafted and pondered upon, but I'm pleased, very much so pleased with it, because it deals with a germane African situation and issue. As the great Madeba has been quoted here and here again just by the former speaker who spoke a few minutes ago, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. We will not get tired of referring to this quotation because truly, indeed, it is the best tool. These words should serve as a powerful reminder of the transformative power of education in driving positive change and enabling sustainable development for our great continent. Honorable colleagues, invited guests, the selection of this theme and the imperative of a continental transformational education agenda could not have come at a time better than now, when we are in need for growth and development of the continent of Africa, particularly when you consider recent empirical reports suggesting that globally, education is in deep crisis. Well done to those who selected this theme, because it's through education that we innovate. And with innovation that is mixed with technology, we challenge tradition and we become more productive as a continent. We could not have chosen a better topic than education. This is critical for Africa. When you take into consideration the disturbing reports of the lack of appreciable progress towards the attainment of sustainable development goals, especially SDG 4, which is on education. This is further complicated by a report reflected in the recent United Nations Continental Education Strategy, CESAR, that paints a disturbing picture that Africa accounts for the greater gaps towards the achievement of SDG 4 objectives when compared to other continents. A cause for a concern. And I'm happy it is the theme of our deliberation during this section. This inability to sustain an attainment of this goal on education truly underscores the urgency of a parliamentary intervention and the need to reaffirm through this section our collective commitment to resourceful education policies. We are complaining that we have not met the expectation of SDG 4, while those that we have trained are migrating daily to other jurisdictions. The role of this parliament is to adopt a Pan-African approach to cure this defect. This is our job as leaders, and it is our job as representatives of the people. And if it is our job, we must do it. If we are fit for purpose, we must chest out to deal with it. The era of blaming anybody is gone. It is now our responsibility to deal with our problems. Nothing more, nothing less. Let me repeat. The era of blame game is gone. It is our responsibility. It is our problem. We are going to own it, and we are going to deal with it. Thank you. This is a call for immediate action. And I'm pleased that the leadership of President Charumbira is not wasting any time in addressing this major continental deficiency in our education system. Honorable colleagues, permit me to reflect briefly on our experience in Nigeria with regards to education. It is remarkable to note that this theme aligns quite substantively to the legislative priorities established under my leadership at the Nigerian House of Representatives, and more fervently with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's focus on prioritizing education as a major catalyst to economic development. This involves the increased funding for schools, scholarships, and initiatives like free school meals for African children living in Nigeria. Whether you're a Nigerian or not, you are entitled to that school meal. This commitment has also informed the initiation and passage of the Student Loan Access to Higher Education Act in 2023, and is ensuing operationalization earlier this year after being assented to by Mr. President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The purpose of this act is to create seamless access to credit facilities for quality higher education, ensuring that all Nigerian students have the opportunity to achieve their academic potentials regardless of their financial background. I also want to share our experience from Nigeria regarding strengthening infrastructure, ensuring educational continuity during crisis, and leveraging technology to remote learning. Nigeria regulators in the public education sector are paving the way with innovative licenses that power the next level of innovation from its vibrant edu-tech industry. A prime example is the MIVA Open University, which received an open distant e-learning license from the National University Commission to operate online classes currently in Nigeria. In September 2023, this Open University officially kicked off its bachelor's degree program through its online distant e-learning platform. This demonstrates how the rest of Africa can learn from Nigeria's stride in embracing and implementing modern learning systems to enhance educational access and quality. In addition to these efforts, Nigeria is championing lifelong learning opportunities through initiatives like vocational training and adult literacy programs. My office The Office of the Deputy Speaker in Nigeria's House of Representatives has already sponsored draft legislations that institutionalizes a national apprenticeship scheme for the country and has passed the second reading. This demonstrates our commitment to equipping our citizens with the skills necessary for a dynamic and evolving economy. We must also focus on the education of our people with physical disabilities, ensuring that our education system are inclusive and accessible to all. Furthermore, it is crucial that we insist on utilizing an African model of learning to pass knowledge. Our knowledge acquisition model should be tailored to suit the African dynamics, ensuring that our educational methods are relevant and effective in our unique context. With all of these in mind, we must advocate for a specific target percentage of our national budget dedicated to education. This will serve as a landmark goal for all African countries, engineering a continent-wide commitment. In addition, by sharing best practices in teacher training, curriculum development, and technology utilization, we can leverage the collective wisdom of Africa for the benefit of all. Furthermore, I propose the creation of a dedicated fund to support national efforts and address funding disparities across the continent. This will ensure no child is left behind on the path to a brighter future. Also, in order to track progress and foster accountability, establishing clear targets for country representative at the parliament, it is very imperative that we take it seriously. This will set the stage for peer review and informative country-by-country presentation at future PAP section. I'm looking forward, Mr. President, to more robust parliamentary deliberation on this subject. I hope that we can translate the outcome of our deliberation into tangible, achievable, and realistic milestones. Before I end, let me emphasize that if AU, as a democratic institution, want to be seen as one, it is important, and the time is now, for the legislative arm of AU to be strengthened beyond where it is. An era of having a budget by the executive arm of AU that is going to be oversighted by the legislative arm without the input of the appropriation right of this arm of the government of AU should be gone. A new era that is transparent, a new era that is credible, a new era that has integrity should now come into place. Through our shared experience, we can establish a clear continental data-driven mechanism for intervention as we are currently undertaking in Nigeria, and further ensure that our objective and goal articulated in this section are reflected in our national budget priorities. Our objectives must be predicated on inclusive growth and eradicating multidimensional poverty, as well as other economic challenges that impede access to quality education. We must therefore agree that the circumstances, finally, that expose our youth to avoidable migration due to the absence of education and skill must abate. As Malcolm X rightly observed, education is the passport to the future, and tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. Thank you, and God bless you.